think it's important. One of those buzz terms that everyone cares to know about is leadership,
Mhm.
right? And of course, we're talking about Chuck, and I think there are different times where probably each of you have to take the lead on certain courses, I imagine.
Yeah.
But just talk about some leadership lessons. Maybe some of your, what would you say is one of your biggest leadership lessons just on your journey and what you've learned when it comes to working with others, leading others, guiding others? There's a lot of people calling on you and pulling on you, and people don't recognize that the larger the platform, the larger the responsibility, right? Like it's cool, you gain likes and all that good stuff, but it's a big responsibility. Talk about some leadership lessons that you've learned along the way.
You know what? The one lesson that I wish I would have learned early, and please, guys, take a. And this ain't even gonna feel too good to all the people who want to be in control. Like this one gonna step on your toes so much, you probably gonna say, Willie Moore, I ain't doing that, right? Because if you told me this 10 years ago, I'd have been like, no, I don't do. I'm definitely
Mm.
not that. But if I could speak to the person right now who is attempting to be a leader, I want you to understand that submission is an invitation for someone else to lead. Submission, full submission is an
I said,
invitation.
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Run that back.
Yeah, submission is an invitation for someone else to lead. Like even if you think about your man or your woman, if you say, "Babe, what restaurant would you like to go to?" And she says, "Well, I would like to go have Chinese." If you say okay, then you're moving in the right direction. It doesn't mean that you don't always have a say so, but sometimes it's important to submit to someone else's leadership. What that does is it gives them confidence, it builds their momentum, and it allows them to feel confident in the position that they're in. My biggest issue or my biggest problem is that I've always been a micromanager because all the divisions start right here, right? And so now I'm now saying this is the vision, and I know the right questions to say. How do we make this thing better? This is what I see, but how do we get there? And then I submit to the Chucks of the world, and I submit to the Kim Offits of the world, and I submit to the team, and they come up with the gumbo. And the funny thing is, although I may have it all written out, I'll look and I'll say, wow, they took this part and then they added more to it. Like sometimes, especially when you're a high personality, what the Lord does for us is we see it in its totality. But the thing is, he shows us in totality, but how we get there should be open to the D's and the S's and the C's. Like I would never build another plan without a C on my team. Like if they're not gonna build the blueprint, I know I'm just out there fishing. It's gonna take me longer, it ain't gonna be as good, and the momentum is gonna be down by the time we present it to the world. So I hate C's. Shout out to the C's out there. Don't really like you guys because you check me all the
I was just like, that's
time.
me.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And I said, 67% of all people do this. It'll be a moose that says, so Will, great job. But where did you get the 67% though? Because right here, it clearly says it's only 53.
I
So
know
where
that's
did you
right.
get yours? Where did you get yours from? But what they do is they make sure that we're not falsifying information. They understand that we, as eyes, we like to overpromise and sometimes we underdeliver. And so it's so important that you submit to your C's, that you submit to that D. And it doesn't mean that we don't have an opinion. It just simply means that we understand their primary character traits and we can get there a lot easier, more effective, and we can present a better product to the world if we submit to their leadership. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.